everybody, this is Paulio Jr. and getting back to my roots a little bit here. I had made a previous video about removing heavy rust and grease and all that good stuff, and I actually found, and I know it's been out for a while, a product called Krud Kutter. And they actually have the original Krud Kutter, and they have a Krud Kutter rust removal, which is really good. But this is actually the part-time. I work in a kitchen essentially, and this is what we use to remove grease off the walls, off of any sort of metal, off the tiles, you name it, and it leaves the actual surface of the tiles and the metal alone, and just gets whatever you need to get off of it. So. And this was what I wanted to show you the example of. This is the rack inside of, and I'm wearing this. This is actually non-toxic and biodegradable. Actually, I'm just using this to hold the glove while I do this. I mean, to hold the camera. But I just wanted to show you guys really quick how fucking powerful this stuff is. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spray the shit out of this thing. This is full strength. This stuff removes dried latex paint. It removes basically heavy grease and oil, and you name it. It even removes blood too, which is really cool. Not that I have a lot of things that have a lot of blood on them, but it's cool to know that. But this is to get really heavy stuff off, and you would just spray it directly on if you did need it at full strength. They do recommend, if you're using things that are a little bit lighter, that you can actually mix a decent amount of it with a gallon of water. Do that, but this is just full strength, and I say just go full strength all the way. It cleans off all that kind of crap that's on top of the coolers, and you don't need anything super abrasive to get it off. This stuff has been sitting for a while, so this is actually going to be a really good test and a testament to how good this stuff really is. Because a lot of times, even on the cutting boards, when I use this, I just start spraying it, and it'll actually just start going off by itself. So, and I'm not too worried about what's going on over here. But, so what I'm going to do is set this up. It tells you everything that it removes right there. Food and drink stains, latex paint, glue, adhesive, acid rain, smoke damage, tree sap, all that kind of good stuff. And it's pretty much on 99% of all surfaces. So you know what? I'm going to see if I can do this with I usually let it sit for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'll just start going with it. And stuff that has all this grease and buildup that has been sitting on here for a while is now just going away like that. It's basically like the product I was using before for spray paint remover, where you didn't need anything that was super abrasive to get rid of this stuff, and all you really need is the towel. Now, I don't have a lot of leverage here because I'm holding the camera with my left hand, but let me see if I can do this really quick, and maybe I'll do the bottom half really quick if I can. Let's see. I'm trying to set this stupid thing up, but what are you gonna do? I have the glove on. Now it's too late. But it's totally fine to do it barehanded because it is not toxic at all. And it's biodegradable, which is really cool. And my camera fell. So if you can see it, cool. If not, you just watch me slowly. You just look at the wall. Now sometimes, if it has been sitting for a while, you might have to let it sit a little bit longer. But these first couple of pieces, they came right off, and this is what's going to go back into my oven. So I usually recommend, if it's something that's tough, to use it, to use more of it if possible. Now, something more abrasive would probably help you a little bit better. I was just trying to do a test to see how far this could go without, with just using a rag on, grease and oil and all that good stuff that's been sitting on this oven rack for, for decades. And it's definitely coming off, and it definitely, before I was using denatured alcohol, which was also something that you just didn't want to continually breathe in. I mean, it was safe in an open area, but this stuff is totally fine and actually works pretty well. So the heavy stuff is coming off first off of this, which is nice. I'm actually just scooping up some of the other stuff, the little piles that I made here. So, but if it's rust, then you can have the Krud Kutter rust removal, which I do have. If it is just grease and oil and things of that nature, then you can use just the Krud Kutter original. But like I said, if it is that old and it's been sitting there that long, it may need to sit for maybe even a little bit longer than a minute or two, just to settle in there, so the stuff comes back to life basically, and then it's easier to get off. So it's almost like all this was it just came on, then you're able to wipe it right off, and it'll, like I said, it'll leave the metal alone. So let's start on this guy, which is now complete. This guy is completely clear, and this is just a rag. This is not it's not a sponge of any sort or anything like that. It's just a rag. So, and the rag's actually doing a pretty good job of getting a lot of this stuff off. But what's cool is you could even use it on, say, like even like this wiring right here, these jumper cables, how they're all kind of a little bit dirty because they've been used and so forth. And I could even just spray the actual rag and then go down with the rag, and it's like the cord is brand new. So it has tons of uses for it. You can use it, like I said, pretty much on any surface. I think the one thing they suggested was actually nothing really. It says you can basically use it on Windows, even computer and TV screens, lights, car wash, all that good stuff. It helps get up chewing gum, tar and wax, suntan oil, all that good stuff. Anything that's some sort of stain, it helps get up. So as long as this is not rust, it'll help. It'll definitely get it off. And like I said, depending on how long it's been sitting there, it'll still get it off, but it just may take a little bit more time than normal. So, because this is what I do want to put this back into my oven, and I didn't want to use. I wanted to see how. I wanted to use a product that would do the work for me instead of sitting there and scrubbing it with, a really abrasive drywall sponge, which is, which still works. But this stuff, I'll show you the first two that I just did here. So that's all coming off. It's all coming off. This is just, like I said, from the oven rack. And sorry if that's shaking a little bit. It's on a goofy tripod. And I'm testing out different cameras, so I know this one has a lower volume as far as the microphone, so I'm going to have to adjust that too. But let's just see here. That's what my favorite camera so far is the Cube. But so I'll show you these two really quick here, and that would be, like I said, I wanted to, well, I can take this glove off. At least on this end, where I just did 1, 2, 3, are definitely a lot clearer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 right here, way clearer than what these were. So this part's a little bit better, that part's a lot better, that part's a lot better. Nothing, this is not abrasive at all, this is just a rag. And I can touch it with my bare hands, it's totally fine. And, I mean, I wouldn't swallow it, but I would definitely, you know, maybe wash my hands afterwards. It's almost similar to like using a Windex or something like that. But however the hell they made this is absolutely fantastic. And I know that if I let a lot of this sit on here for a little bit, that all that heavy stuff is going to come right off. And if I really need to, I can use, you know, I can use, you know, one of those, I can use a, you know, an abrasive sponge, or some sort of, you know, like a wire sponge or something like that. So, but yeah, just wanted to show you guys this product, the Krud Kutter, and like I said, you can use it on anything. Use it on wires, use it on shoes, use it on anything, and it just gets kind of all that. It just makes everything look fresh again, and it does it for tough things, and it does it for, you know, things that aren't so tough. And it seems as though you can use it on almost any surface imaginable, which is pretty cool. So if there's something even on a mirror, you know, on the toilet, or whatever the case may be, it will get it off. What I primarily use it on is making cutting boards completely to their original color. I use it, we have a on the lunch truck as well. There's a lot of, you know, from cooking all day, there's a lot of grease built up in the back, and just a couple sprays of that, and then just it wipes right off. Like I said, this rack right here is 30 years worth of, you know, maybe I'll say 20, maybe 20 years worth of crap that I am going to put back into my oven as soon as I get it clean. And I'm also working on part 2 of the video for the utility sink, which I kind of want to show you right now, but I'm not going to, because I have the outer portion of it pretty much done, and then I'm going to work on the inner portion right after that. But these were the first 3 that I was primarily focused on, and like I said, as long as it's not rust, it'll take it off. No matter what it is, it'll take it off. So it pretty much will get rid of anything and restore it to its original form, you know, to its original aesthetic look. But like I said, this is something that's hardcore. You can use it on the top of like water coolers. When they get dirty and so forth, you just spray it down, let it sit, and you can just wipe it off with the rag. Like I just showed you with the jumper cable, just wiping off the wire real quick, and you know, stuff just came right off. So I'm trying to see if there's one other thing that I can show you real quick. Let me turn this off and then come back. Alright, if you can see it, this is the cooler. And this is one of my coolers, and it's been sitting outside for a little bit, and as you can see, as I'm spraying it, the stuff is coming off. Like you see it right there. Like I spray it, and it's fucking white. I spray it, it's fucking white. And you probably don't need this much for this kind of stuff, but you can still use the, you know, the full capacity of this, of just spraying it. And so that went from a, let's see how this goes. I think this is a much better example than, you know, a rack that's been used for decades, that I know will eventually, it will take it out. But it just, all that is going to come right out, and it's going to be nice and clean, nice and fresh, back to its original form, what it's supposed to look like. And you know, and it doesn't have all these crazy chemicals in it as well, which is really cool. So I'm just trying to see what the hell is that. And that'll even come up too. Look, it's even loosening that. Whatever the hell that is, it's even loosening that up. So, let's see. See the cup holders, how dirty they are. See how I pulled this out. And now I'm kind of using a dirty rag, but that's okay. Twist it here. Look at that. Boom. And this has been sitting on my porch for a while too. So, and now the rag is getting a little dirty, but still done. See that guy? Nice and dirty. And now even with this dirty rag now, it's nice and clean. Nice and clean. So sometimes, you know, a little bit of elbow grease will help it out, but that's just an example of what it can do. So, and I didn't even let it sit. I mean, I let it sit for not even 30 seconds, and it just, most of it just wiped right off. Some of the stuff that's been sitting there might take a little bit longer. So, but it definitely will come off. The Krud Kutter will definitely loosen everything up and bring it back up to its original form, so that it is easy to wipe off. And then I have no doubt that all this fucking shit on here will come off regardless if it just needs to sit, whatever, because this stuff is thick. So, and I wanted a strong testament for the Krud Kutter, and I still do feel like it's the best product out there, just in general, as far as removing stains and oil and grease and all that kind of good stuff. But like I said, if there is any rust on this, it does not get rust off, but it will get pretty much everything else besides rust. So, and this bottle at the store was about $5-6, and I know you can get it cheaper than that, but it definitely will do the trick on everything except for rust. And because this one doesn't do rust, they have a Krud Kutter for rust, which I also do have. So if that is the case where this guy is rust, then is partially rusted, then I'll use the Krud Kutter rust removal. But as you saw, even just with the cooler, how nasty it was on top, and then all I did was just sprayed it down and went right over it. As I'm, yeah, here, look over here while I'm doing this. And then just, that's it. That's it. Nothing super complicated. This isn't a huge DIY. There's a lot of other stuff that I'm going to put up. The utility sink is the one big one that I'm working on right now. So I'm trying to restore a relic to look, you know, fashionable for, you know, for the 21st century. But this thing is recording in 1080p right now, and I'm actually stuck on the Chinese menu, so I don't know how the hell to get out of it. But yeah, so I have a lot more things coming, and I actually have off for the next couple days. So I am going to be working on videos and doing some more technical stuff, even and possibly even some software. I definitely have one software that I really want to recommend highly, as if you have any sort of Apple product, whether it be an iPad, iPod, you know, or the iPhone. I'm like how many Apple products are there? And it's a universal software, and it's really cool. And it helped get my brother out of a jam, and it only took one click, which was really cool. So, so this was really, I guess, more of a review than a DIY. But hey, I was still doing it myself, and you can still do it yourself with the Krud Kutter. So Krud Kutter is definitely the way to go as far as getting stain remover and a degreaser. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be posting more videos as consistently as I can. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.